He's running a business.
Why would you insult me like that? Why would you say that to me? We've been friends for a long time.
Sorry. You want a bit of cheese? Okay, let's move into your positivity, please, to finish this off on a positive note, because I still want to tell people, and the energy minister, I've actually, again, been thinking about it. We can't just whinge about this all day.
No.
There must be solutions, and they are practical solutions. So in a minute, you will see all my practical solutions after his positive spin on this whole thing. Go for it. He's got constipation, the poor bastard. Come on, let it out.
Okay. Let's wrap up with some positivity.
Yeah. You got to think of something. Come on. I give you $50 if you find a positive thing on this policy.
No, I like the retirees getting something, finally getting something for free. I like apartments who couldn't get solar getting something for free. They couldn't make use of a battery rebate. They couldn't get solar on their own roof.
And
I like that.
Okay, and a lot of them are Labor voters, so that is good for their constituents.
Yep. They could have got it using natural market mechanisms through a retailer that already offered that. And the retailers were looking for people to soak up energy in the day, especially the small ones who were already providing this service without government intervention. So that's the little bit of hope that I have. The great hope ultimately for me, and it's very selfish and it's kind of rude to say, but electricity prices are going to continue to go up broadly, and that means more people will ultimately buy solar and batteries from me.
I knew it. That wasn't positive for the people out there. It was positive for yourself.
I don't want it for Australia, but let's.
All right. But look, we're moving now into the solutions. And the first one is, you know what you could really do for apartment dwellers, which they do in Europe now, that kind of solar thing where they put 2 or 3 panels onto their balcony, and then they actually put batteries inside the house of those people, and they take the balcony solar, put it in their house, but also they can actually get power from the grid when it's cheap, store it in their battery, and then use it at night. So you actually can involve units in that scheme, and there are companies like Anchor and EcoFlow who actually have products ready, but while they're allowed in Europe, our politics and rules don't allow it. And yes, it has to be done safely. You can't just put batteries anywhere in a flat and the kids play with the terminals and all that. It's not like that. But there is actually something that they can do to actually suck up all this power with apartment dwellers having batteries.
Totally. It would be awesome, except that the Australian rules, because we're the most ruled over energy sector.
No, Australia is the country of the free.
What? Of the free?
The free, yes. We're the country of the free. That's why people migrate here for the freedom. And then they get the rule book and realize they got ripped off. Anyway, move on.
If we could, it would be amazing. I would love to see apartment solar and batteries be allowed to be installed in a sensible place in an apartment.
Right.
There's still a lot of rules that prevent us from doing things like that. And so technically, yes.
They're always couched in the level of safety. But then they let all the e-bikes in with all the crappy batteries.
You can buy an Alibaba scooter, which is more likely to burn your house down than anything.
Yeah, so that's the thing. And I mean, the other thing was interesting. The battery rebate was only allowed if you had a solar system.
Correct.
And if they would actually allowed it for anybody who hasn't got solar, that would have potentially taken care of the midday glut.
Mate, I would love to be installing power walls up the outside of a building for apartment dwellers. I think that would be fantastic.
It's possible.
It's possible. It's expensive. It's more expensive than a freestanding home, but it's definitely possible. It's technically feasible. It's kind of sensible because if you then switch them on to a VPP, they're a big participant. And Australia, our capital cities are going more to more high density living. So we do need that solution. We need the rules to free up, but and the rebate shouldn't be tied to putting in a solar panel. I don't know why.
But I mean, look, there's some townhouses and things like that where literally they fit only 3 solar panels, and they just put the bull dust solar system in now so they can have a tick. But that solar system will never fill the battery. So it just kind of involved now cheating and trying to push things through. In some way, it should have been allow for batteries, because that way the cloud in the middle of the day could have been sucked up anyway without this free little marketing thing. But what about we got here the East Coast gas? I mean, the gas is really normally in the electricity generating the highest cost one.
The gas lobby is so strong.
No, but I mean, just let me explain to you guys out there why electricity's gone up. Yes, renewable is cheap. And coal isn't actually that expensive either. And so what happens is when let's say more electricity is needed, and now it spikes. And so renewable has it sent in, and the coal has sent in, and we haven't got enough. And so now the auction bidding war pushes the price up and up and up and up. And I'm sitting there with a gas-fired turbine thing, and I can turn it on within a minute, but I'm not happy with the price yet. And then finally I go, oh, it's gone high. Yeah. Let's press the button. And now it goes off, and it's an incredible price of maybe, $100 a kilowatt hours or something like that? Can it be as high as that?
It sort of steps up in levels, right? So you're typically trading at like $80 a megawatt hour, and then it will jump up to
a megawatt hour, not a kilowatt
hour.
Megawatt.
Sorry.
No, that's right. No, you're right.
And then it'll jump up to like 120, then it'll jump up to 300, and then it will jump up to 600, then 1,200.
But let me explain what that means. The 1,200 then means it's $1.20 for that electricity that you buy at 35 or 40 cents, okay? So at that point in time when it's so high, theoretically they're making a huge loss because they're selling too much cheaper. But in reality, you're going to pay that in return on other days when they're getting it literally for free, okay? So, but what means is that gas guy sits there and goes, ooh, it's $1.20 now. I'll wait for $1.80. Then he presses the button, and from there on, the prices will slowly come down again because now the crisis has been averted. But this is where the cluncher comes. The cheap renewable people and the coal people also get that $1.80.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's getting that.
Everybody gets that $1. So it's like a poker game where you all hope for the highest possible price, because then we all make more money.
Well, that's what we talked about last time. I mean, in whose interest is lowering the cost?
Nobody's.
No one involved in the market. No one involved in selling electricity. Not even the solar guys. And I hate to say that because I would love to be the champion of the people.
You're not the good guy, actually. You're part of the evil empire. But
gas is one of those ones that is the peaker. That is a main driver of high-priced electricity costs, because that's the way we're going. And it's also partly due to the international price of gas. So it's not just
No, not the international price of gas. We sell our gas so cheap on long-term contract to Japan and other places that they made $1 billion profit last year out of our cheap gas.
How much did we make?
No, we lost money officially because nobody paid tax. Remember, you were getting there. But my point is, as the gas becomes more expensive for ourselves,
that's what I mean,
because we're going with international market prices, we haven't kind of capped it. We haven't asked for 20, 30% to be used in Australia because we kind of just haven't got somebody with balls. I think the opposition actually last time had it as one of their policies, but they lost because nobody really understood it. So my point is that when the gas goes up more, and that is the highest cost factor in the energy creation, that means high electricity bills.
Yeah.
So if we can get the gas cheaper and we reserve a certain amount for ourselves, that could put a downward pressure on electricity prices. If we allow renters to kind of get those units that they can use in their unit with batteries and balcony solar, it probably would look a bit ugly. But you could maybe only use black panels. You could set some, rules and this and that around it. In any way, it would make a lower cost of living.
Totally.
It says in there, modernize tariffs for the solar era. What does that kind of mean?
That would effectively mean passing through the savings that solar is actually making to the wholesale electricity price.
Right, and then forcing them to pass it on to normal people. So instead of giving you the gimmicky 3 hours only if you have a smart meter, it would allow everybody to have a 10-cent price or 15-cent price in a particular time frame.
Yeah, well, when the market trends down, they should pass that through. And that would be extremely beneficial because it would definitely drive buyer behaviour,
Right.
but not penalise generators like yourself at home who, have opportunities to sell your power out into a real market at a real price. I think that would be really amazing thing to do. But what you're also asking then the big retailers particularly is to, at the moment, they are making massive profit in the middle of the day because they're still selling you the energy in the middle of the day at 35 cents and they're buying it at negative,
Negative,
10.
or very, very little. So yeah. So I'm still paying, even so the cost is very low in the middle of the day, they haven't actually given me that reduction.
Correct. That's their main profit time.
Right. Okay, so that's all fine. Now, the other thing is the volatility of the market. It doesn't really help normal end customers because it only helps speculators find a way to bring the prices up. Now, what about if the government would set a price point prediction for the next day and we kind of get a bit more clarity in the market? Because I think in UK, it's not like they're all speculating and guessing what it'll be for the next day. The government actually sets the price point for the next day, so everybody knows what's actually going to be. And if I'm the gas producer that's trying to wiggle up the price really high, I can't do it anymore because the government's already told me the max I can go for. So it kind of puts a bit of a ceiling on the speculator paradise that screws us all in the bills.
Well, we've done the opposite of that. We've allowed the market to actually have higher caps. So instead of squeezing the caps down, the Australian government, in its infinite wisdom, has allowed that to actually be expanded. So we've moved the opposite direction.
Basically have locked in future electricity price rises, but we're trying to hide it with the free 3-hour kind of marketing gimmick. So that's that one. Less churn. Do you know how they give you the illusion that if you travel around and use Choice 52 website that you get 42 different better prices? Blah, 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 blah. You do the final math, not much difference. But all that churn and all those new accounts set up, traveling over, it actually adds to the cost. So I think solar.
It's about $300 per churn. Per client is the cost of the churn.
Of them setting up the account and all of that. Now, why do energy retailers need 42 different energy plans per retailer and then whatever 27 retailers in one region and all that? I mean, nobody has time to run around and do all that. Maybe AI can do in the future. But my point is just simplify the bloody offers. Don't make it so complicated to exhaust people. All we wanted to do, it's like milk. I used to be able to go and buy milk. Just milk, and now it's got $2 and with this flavour and that and this and that, and I stand there. It takes me 15 minutes to make a choice.
Well, the illusion of choice is strong, but I think ultimately it works in the favour of the big guys. They end up just buying out everyone who's collected their own customers and they get them back and it goes back out again and it comes back and then maybe there's a little bit of a gaming of the spot market just to destroy a few of the new retailers who are not as bankable and don't have the funds to ride through high-priced market events. So you can give the illusion of choice, but ultimately we all come back to the same few retailers. I think the churn is partly engineered. I think it's part of the way that we're saying, hey, we're not a monopoly. We're not a cartel because look at how many retailers there are. It couldn't possibly be a cartel, even though it would appear from the outside that
it is a cartel.
Maybe.
Right. So by having all these plans, according to him, we give you the impression that you've got a lot of choices, but whichever way you end up walking, you end up still in the same trap. So it's kind of like snakes and ladders, but you can only fall backwards. So, okay, so that's that one. Have we got any? There's a last one. Engage communities and protect the vulnerable.
Sounds good.
That's lovely. What's come up there? Co-design local solutions like microgrids where they stack up and community batteries where they actually can cut costs for the networks. So I'm not really a huge friend of community batteries because they're owned by the energy retailer. That's another handout by the government to the industry. But where it can prevent networks having to upgrade and they're helping the local grid, maybe there is an opportunity for more localized solutions. So I'm kind of a little bit in favor of that.
I love that. I mean, it makes sense, right? Distributed energy with nodes and areas where there is something to take some load off the grid. But the savings are not yet being passed back on. The energy, the poles and wires are still any saving that we make poles and wires companies, it just goes straight in the pocket,
Right.
because of the way that the pricing mechanism works. But I mean, that's nothing to do with the free power for 3 hours. This is a completely new concept that you're actually inventing ways to save people money, and that's
what the minister should do with his
time.
No, but I mean, look, the minister could employ people which create positive energy policies for the Australian consumers.
Yeah.
Or he can employ marketing people who can make a Swiss cheese look like Gouda, okay? And those marketing people seem to be at the moment winning out because we're getting more gimmick than we get policy.
Yeah.
And so one more great idea that I give free out to the minister today is this. You know how they have, the target for the climate goals? So we're only supposed to be, like going back to 2020 levels and all of that. So why don't we go for 2026, our electricity prices are only allowed to be as high as what the inflation was from 2010 to now. So let's say if we have 100% inflation, the electricity prices are only allowed to be double what they were before, not 3 times or 4 times. Let's do what we do for the climate goals for the energy prices, whereby we're capping them. We're capping them. You're allowed to increase, but just cap it at inflation, and that way your profits will be reasonable. You're shipping not too much offshore, and you're not paying tax anyway. So I don't really care if you make too much profit, as long as it's just enough for you to stay happy. That would help a lot of consumers.
It would help a lot of manufacturers.
Yes.
It's predictable.
Yes.
It's manageable.
Yes.
And it would, it potentially end up being a vicious cycle, because the inflationary pressure that energy prices put on inflation can feed itself.
But it's actually vicious cycle is the negative, is the positive. It would be a positive vicious cycle.
Yeah.
It would actually be a good thing for Australia. Oh my God. It would be better
we
than
need to get Chris here.
Yeah, no. He wouldn't. He doesn't like me. I worked for Chris once. That's a different story.
Yes.
I'll let him tell you that. But yes, it's better. It's better than 3 free hours. Put a cap on it, link it with inflation, and just stop the bullshit. That's all. Any more?
You don't ask for much. You want to stop the bullshit now, as well as the okay.
No, but I mean, it's a great marketing spin. Hopefully, a few people see it and just see it for what it is. It is a bit of a thought bubble. It is a bit of the cane toad. It is a bit of the carp.
It's a bit of the Swiss cheese.
It's the Swiss cheese, the one with the holes. But it's been made to taste good.
Please support the channel by liking the video, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, and check out all our other videos. Want more energy answered? Visit yourenergyanswers.com for quality energy products, tools and calculators, and find your quality local installers. You're still here? I'll see you next time. Bye.